Hey everyone, it's Tyler from Zephyr Epic here, and today we're going over everything you need to know about Connor Bedard cards in 2023-24 Upper Deck Extended Series, which releases tomorrow, June 26th. We'll cover everything from what cards you can find of his in the product, as well as what we think that they could sell for, and as well as the differences between his SP1 Easter egg in Series 1 and his first round draft pick card that you can find in Extended Series. If you're looking to pick up a box of Extended Series, we'll have a link in the description below where you can pick up a box on our site at zephyrepic.com. But for now, let's get right into the video. Before we get into what Bedard's card values could be in Extended Series, I just wanted to quickly go over the differences of his SP1 Easter egg card that was available in Series 1 compared to his first round pick that will be in Extended. On the front of the card, the main difference is going to be whether or not he is wearing a hat, as the hat is SP1 and the hatless photo is the Extended Series first round pick. The back will also be a fairly easy tell because the SP will have the SP1 on the back, whereas the first round pick will have number 739 as it's part of the base checklist. They'll also have the set name towards the bottom of the card as well, which is standard on pretty much every single set that Upper Deck releases. The only reason I wanted to mention this one is that the SP1 will end up being about 5 to 6 times rarer than the Extended Series one, which means it should be more valuable, and just in case people try to use it as a comp against the SP1, you now know that the SP1 from Series 1 is actually a decent amount rarer, and so you can kind of adjust the value based off of that. It's important to remember that these are settled prices, meaning there's no rush or FOMO over the cards anymore. The cards, when the product is released, are generally at their highest and most volatile price because you'll see a lot of people just chasing after those cards to begin with. So you'll likely see Bedard's cards start off really high and then cool off over time as more product gets open and more gets listed, similar to what happened with his Young Guns and literally every single other card that comes out on the market. In comparison to a player's base Young Guns, the retro Young Guns generally went for around 30 to 35% of the price, while the first round pick cards generally go for anywhere between 10 and 14%. If we look at that in comparison to what Connor Bedard's base Young Gun is selling for, which is in the $375 to $450 Canadian range, you end up with around $120 to $150 for his settled retro Young Gun price and around $45 to $60 for his settled first round pick price. I would kind of use these as baselines as to where I think the dust would settle on them long term if his base Young Gun price remains the same and the product is kind of readily available like previous years of Extended Series has been. Once again, though, it is very important to remember that these prices will generally always be higher at release as people are trying to chase the next biggest card, and there will be more buyers, which will generally drive the price up. It's also important to remember that if his base Young Gun price drops, you'll also likely see these drop a little bit as well, but it could be at release that these cards come out and it drops his base Young Gun a little bit, and then eventually these will trickle down as well. It's kind of just a supply and demand thing at this point. But at the end of the day, he's an unprecedented rookie, so the comps aren't going to be perfect just because there's not really a player to compare him to, and Extended Series wasn't a thing when McDavid was around. In general, I think you're going to see these cards probably about 40 to 50% higher, so you'll probably see the retro Young Gun selling like the 200-ish range at the start of release, and then you'll probably see the first round pick be about $100 at the start of the release. But I think over time those will kind of come down as people focus on newer products. It's also important to remember that this is the first release after the Stanley Cup Finals, and I think we've actually had a decent influx of new people to both hockey and to collecting as well. So we could be looking at getting some new collectors into the market with this product, which could also end up driving prices up a little bit too. I still think these are fairly good baseline prices though, and just something to keep in the back of your mind if you're not really in a panic to buy his cards now, that again, generally waiting, you'll see these cards drop over time as people try and collect the next and best card. In terms of his other cards in Extended Series, his Young Guns canvas is going to be tough to judge because I don't know how thrilled collectors will be with the image choice of it. It's a cool concept, but I really wish they would have done it as like a swagnificent photo variation and had a game action for his canvas shot. And I think most collectors will probably be along the same lines. But yeah, I think it could actually end up driving the price up of his other cards because people might be more interested in those. But at the very least, the Young Gun canvas should probably be in around the same range as his base Young Gun. He's also got a couple more rare Young Gun variations, including a super short print retro Young Guns based on an older design, and his acetate Young Guns that will fetch at least 5 figures based on what his exclusives is selling for. In terms of the super short print retro Young Guns, those are really tough to price out. I saw a Kaprizov one sell for like $750 and a Stützle sell for $150, so they go for like anywhere between 500% to like 1,000%, and you have the Bedard factor on top of it and the release factor on top of it, so those could also fetch a pretty decent penny as well. For the rest of his more common rookie inserts, I'd expect them to end in the $10 to $25 range, depending on what set they're from and how rare they are, as they won't be everyone's main chase at this point. That's kind of what McDavid's were when he had his Series 2 rookies like his Portraits and OPG rookie come out when Series 2 dropped back in 2015-16. So again, I think those will kind of be what they settle at. I think at release you'll get a little bit higher prices just because everyone's trying to get the next card. But again, over time, you'll likely see those just kind of tailor off. Anyways, I think that about wraps things up. One other note, as per the checklist, only Series 1 and Series 2 players have their acetate Young Guns in Extended Series. This means that we might not see Adam Fantilli or Logan Cooley ones, but Upper Deck always sneaks some cool stuff into Extended too, so who knows if we'll find them or other rare and cool Bedard inserts as well, because hey, again, Upper Deck always likes to sneak some Easter eggs into Extended. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. We'll have our first look at Extended on our channel tomorrow, and if you're interested in picking up a box, I'll leave a link in the description below. Take care and have a good rest of your day.